Morning, guys, and welcome to another edition of Treatings. Today, what we're going to cover, we're going to cover the migrant scheme from Afghanistan, and we're just going to speak about Prince Harry and the good work he's done this week. And that's it, really. Anyway, first off, I just wanted to say, this migrant scheme from Afghanistan. I just wanted to say, I suppose, in war, they've had translators, people that have worked alongside them, people that have saved soldiers or would have saved or counted in to saving people's lives, soldiers that are British, right, that are out there on the floor, so or on the battlefield, so that does deserve by morals and ethics to be respected, but straight away I just question the numbers, how many of those people did really help, or is it them and their family? There's a lot of questions to be answered, because at the moment it just looks like a free-for-all, and these people weren't or are not going to be screened. And everybody's got a personal history. I have, you have, everyone has. You're releasing people onto the streets of England that are unregistered, and you want to leave the police and the social services out to dry and say there's not enough visibility, there's not enough of crime, this and that. Does this decrease the crime rate, or does it increase it? Practices such as this. You say that the police and the NHS and whomever else, no, but the police, they're struggling at the moment to take hold of certain crimes, right? And does this compound their worries, or do you know what I mean? Will it increase the crime rate? So you're heaping pressure on a system that's already got handling lots of pressure, So if I was senior in the police force or whatever, and we're working at statistics, and you've gone and thrown people like this around towns and centres, and you want me to keep the crime rate down, I'd come out and say something, man. I'd come out and say something, because inevitably it's going to lead to a crime rate increase, and also on top of that, what I'm concerned about is that, I'm going to come out and say it, according to statistics, that population has the highest rate per 1,000 or 100 or whatever it is, but they have the highest rate of sex crimes in the UK, I believe. And that is why I believe this decision that was made is completely and utterly disrespectful to vulnerable people and the women of this, predominantly the women of this country, regardless of faith, religion, It's complete disregard of them, When they hear things I hear this as a man, and I think, this is awful, if I had a kid or whatever. But what about a female just living her life on her own? She reads about this, and she's got a bit of anxiety, or whatever, and then you've gone and released all these creepy crawlies. No, I'm only joking, but you know what I mean? You've gone and released all these people onto the streets of built up centres, and they're not even credit checked, as it were. You don't know their history. Now, I've got something I say that is very kind of rude, but there's a common sense to it. I often say to the TV, excuse my French people, I normally say, how do you know this person hasn't raped their mum in their country? Yeah, right, that's what I normally say. I'm being honest with you. How do you know he ain't raped his mum? And bring the kids over on the NHS. That's what I say. It's awful, right? But then I thought to myself, How do you know? How do you not know? Do you know what I mean? How do you should know like someone's history. Do you know what I mean? How do you not? You should know somebody's history when coming into the country. Simple as that. Whether you send a WhatsApp message to the area that they come from, everyone's got WhatsApp now across the world, and you get back some information on them or whatever. You should know everybody's history. You know, especially coming from a place like that. You know. So like basically, it's projected and injected a lot of fear into the community, especially amongst the vulnerable, like the elderly and the women of this country. You know, and it is gonna spike a mini crime wave potentially based off of what we know in statistics. Yeah. Now, no problem. Like if these guys were like on the front line translating, whatever. Yeah, no problem, man. I'd say, yeah, you have to like, they'd be well deserving. But on top of that, I want to know, like, everybody coming in from this scheme, are you going to put them through some type of course? Like I said before, like where you have to read through like 3 or 4, 5, 6 pages, answer a simple sort of quiz at the end, which you have to be able to read the language of English or understand it verbally, sign language, whichever way it is to answer the questions. And it's very easy to answer, but you'll have a competency for English. And will you like give these guys or these people a course on, like, you can't touch these women, you can't touch this girl, you've got to like speak to people like this, speak to people like that, whatever. The job centres over there. Do you know what I mean? Little things, just to like say like, or just like, look, man, we've let you in, blah, 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 blah. The UK electorate is not happy. Yeah. And, we know you're good people. We know you're good people. It's only a minority, but you do have the highest rating, such and such and such. So what are you going to do to combat against this? Are you going to spread out information within the community and let people know that it's going to be clamped down upon, and it's creating a bad reputation for us because we're a wonderful people, but we've been in a state of war. We had the war with the Russians in the 80s and 90s, then the Americans, and then the UK came over and tried to... So we've gone through 30, 40 years. All we've ever known is war. So, we had the Taliban, can we get some help and maybe make sure that we don't commit some of these like heinous sex crimes? I'm hoping you do things like this, at least. Anyway, rolling back from that, if I were the political godfather, I'm not going to go too much more about this. I would have said no. Or I would have whittled it down and really, really, really verified these people. So much so I could come on a video like now and say, right, this is such and such. He was translating from 2003 to 2015. He was there when, he was like, he was fighting the Taliban with us. I've seen it. I can verify it. I'm his sponsor, or I am, a soldier or whatever, or commander or whatever it is, says, look, I can verify this person. This is a person of great character. We need him. Yeah, he was very, very honourable, something like that. You'd have to say, yeah, man, they've earned it more than even myself, so like, something like that. But just like anybody. Plus as well, you've got to remember, man, like, they are the same people. You like to say like Taliban, whatever, but they are the same people within the same country, the same lineage, same blood, whatever. Just one's on the other side and one's on another, right? So you got people that also could have defected, but they hold the belief of what the Taliban are, and that's going to be left now incubated in England and could potentially be tomorrow's terrorist bomb or threat in 10 or 15 years time. You're going to read a story that this guy came over on an aeroplane or whatever, and then now this has happened in the centre of London, inevitably. Not could, it's inevitable. Something like this could happen, right? So yeah, ultimately, I just want to end this here and just say like, yeah, I feel like it's in disregard and it's disdain, yeah, out of disdain for like, I would say the British female and vulnerable person, just expecting protection from society, and also men as well, because like men are quite vulnerable as well. You've got lots of like fighting age men running around the cities and town when it's just you and your wife and your kid. Do you know what I mean? Against like maybe a horde of men, you know. So it's quite like it's not funny, and the thought of it as well, you know. So I would have said no, but I'm hoping these people, you're gonna recall them at least and just like take them through some type of course. Do you know what I mean? Some type of course. Like everybody needs a briefing. And also, as well as that, that's another thing as well. Like when a soldier comes away from a war zone, he gets a debriefing, right? Like these people, they've probably got undiagnosed PTSD, as they should have, because they've been in it from their children, right? Which is sad, yeah. And to not have any type of like program, so you've got somebody walking around with undiagnosed PTSD, like in the centre of town, on top of people, and on top, yeah, right, you know. So like, yeah, you're putting a lot of pressure on certain organisations, and I feel sorry for the police, because like these people, if I'm a commissioner, I'm trying to bring the rate down on certain things, and I see an influx of these people, right? Like it's gonna affect my figures, man. Definitely, I can see it. And then I'm going to get criticised for this. I'm not taking that. I'm coming out and doing something, saying something to the government, man, if I can. You know? And if they could reverse it, that would be the ideal, really. But then the ones that really deserve, you just got to run a strict criteria. Do you know what I mean? You've got to really do your due diligence, and really a strict criteria, you know, especially because it's this place. You need a real strict criteria. If you did that, you know what I mean, it would quell people a little bit. But just letting people run amok anywhere, they can go anywhere they want, and they've done anything in the past, or you don't know what they've done in the past. It's just like, it's a recipe for like, it's almost like, this is it now. This is almost goodbye England. This is it. Yeah, this is it. Anyway, moving on. I was reading this week, or just yesterday, Prince Harry pays tribute to his mother by walking in the same minefield in Angola that his mum did in 1997. It's good work, you know, and yeah, to be respected and love, you know. And we do like the guy. I do like him. I don't mind. No matter what he's I do like him, right? But I'm just gonna say, like, one thing I wasn't happy with, so I'm getting it out, because I said a little bit in my last writing about him ordering a Deliveroo, right? But I just want to go in and just say, like Prince Harry, like, even I know not to order a Deliveroo. Man, Jesus Christ, oh, mate, what are you doing? A Deliveroo? I couldn't believe it. Yeah. Now let's put this in real terms, right? Nobody signs a declaration these days. There are certain ideologies and certain people that are against people, right, or whatever. Yeah. Say if Vladimir Putin is in London and he orders a Deliveroo, and a Ukrainian like delivers that food for him. Yeah, right. Now by the rules of, like, I don't know, the chess game rules of war, right, or whatever. Right, as a Ukrainian, right, he's got to see himself as like, I'm a pawn, and you're a king. So if a pawn can take a king and give itself up, and it's part of the bigger machine, it has to by default. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I don't know, like if somebody from the Third Reich or was complicit in the Holocaust in the 1940s that they've been searching for, yeah, right, opens the door in England, and he was Hitler's right-hand man, or Hitler himself, right, and it's a Jewish person or a British person or an ally from that time that was hurt, like, and they've ordered a Deliveroo, yeah, like, and they're a pawn, by default they might have to just think about, do you know what I mean, the worst, do you know what I mean, because they got to think the greater good, or what's our long-term goal, you know. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, like, you're a king or close to a king, yeah, right, and you're letting pawns get that close to you. It's absolute ludicrous. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, you got people that literally, and I'll tell you why I couldn't believe it as well. That book you wrote, what you wrote in that book, I was not best impressed, man. I wasn't happy with that at all, man. Like, you see the army is a well-cogged, well-oiled machine. Yeah. Right. When somebody drops a bomb, shoots someone or whatever, you've had to be flown out on location. You've been trained. You've been desensitized to certain things. You've been placed in that position to shoot or whatever it is. It's a team effort. No one man really takes responsibility. Yeah, that's what the army is designed for. Yeah. To go out there and say you've killed 25 Taliban and all this sort of stuff on a thing. Yeah, right. I'd be fuming if you did that to me if I was in the army. I'd want you, like, court-martialed. Woo. I was like, you don't say those things, man. Don't say those things. The army is designed to safeguard you, to make you not, and it's not you, like, that's what they said. It's not you taking the shot. You're taking it without emotion, and it's a team effort. Do you know what I mean? That's what the army's designed for. Yeah, and to come out and say those things, yeah, and what's even worse as well, look at, in the spirit of Drummer Lee Rigby, yeah, right? And there's a lot of other military veterans, yeah? They might all get together on the remembrance and whatever, but they can't even walk down their high street in their own country and feel safe. Yeah, and you go and say that. You go and say that on your book. Like, and obviously with your profile, fuming. I'd be I'd be fuming. And it's because you're a royal, like, you get away with it, but you do not say those things. If you would have, like, I shouldn't be privy to this either. I don't deserve to be, yeah. But if you're in a pub on remembrance, you just turn up somewhere like you do, yeah, like for the Deliveroo, yeah, and you're in there with a couple of boys, you get them together and you say, look, between us four, blah 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 blah, yeah. Do you know what? All right, and it gets out. All right. Do you know what I mean? But do you know what I mean? But to come out in a book and write that and make yourself a target, and then all the food from people that will see you and should see you by the rules of chess, ideology or whatever, of war and whatever, not needing to sign a declaration, like, you are taking the piss. Do you know what I mean? And it's serious. It's serious because what you said there stops somebody from wearing their uniform and walking down a high street every now and again. Do you know what I mean? Not funny. Not funny at all, man. You know? So that's just my gripe with Harry. I just wanted to say as well, like, you've got something about you. I hope I might have this as well. Like, nobody really hates you. Like you can be like loved. You can get back right in right again. Do you know what I mean? There's something about your mum, the situation there. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Everybody likes you still. Everybody loves you still. So, do you know what I mean? You can, but just like what you said there, what you wrote in the book, I don't agree with it at all. 100%. You know, and I hope the military. I know what I really want to say. Yeah, they should have disciplined you on that, or whatever. You know what I mean? Because what you did there was like, you don't do that, not at all. Anyway, I wanted to make a little apology to Prince Harry because I remember I made a video about Meghan and her movie career and all that a couple of years ago and whatever, and me being out the loop. I think she gave birth to your child Archie like a day or two later, and I felt bad, the timing of it, but I didn't even know. I'm out the loop, I get no information, right? So I didn't even know whatsoever that. So for that reason, just in case my message goes as far and as wide as possible, I apologise for that. Anyway, that makes Treatings 26. Hope this message finds you well. Once again, I would say no to this situation of migrancy. But if it was a yes, these people would be heavily vetted. Like facial recognition, any type of DNA ahead of time, that can be taken, would be taken. Bloods, everything. Yeah, everything. Yeah. Like, would be like taken. They'd probably have to only have one phone number. Yeah, I don't believe in like people changing. They should have one phone number, definite residence, definite jobs or whatever it is. Like, it would just be a very, 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 very strict criteria. Do you know what I mean? And it's just to safeguard as well the British citizen, which is most important, against these sex crimes and whatever else, but also to safeguard the Afghan community so they don't take any shame or anything in this country and create a civil disobedience. But just letting like fighting age men predominantly run around a city centre, you know, men are men. Like, do you know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy. And how did you benefit from this? How did you benefit? I'm thinking, who's benefiting from this? You know? So yeah, I would stop the action straight away, and I'd put in a stiff criteria, man. 100%. Straight away. Yeah, it's very, very important. It's at the level of importance of like an actual, like, above COVID, but below like a war. Do you know what I mean? Like a physical war. I would put it close to like a war situation. But that's for another video as well, because I do believe like the military. People keep on saying it, ring on radio station every year, but the military should be dealing with this migrant boat issue. Straight. We know that anyway. But I might speak about it in another video, even maybe today. Anyway, I hope this message finds you well. Deliver this message straight to your heart because it's from mine. Love one.